Dawn opened over the vast savanna with pale golden light stretching across grass still wet with morning dew. The early air was cool and quiet. The hunters woke as the sun touched the horizon. They checked their bows and spears, tightened their bindings, and adjusted the small knives that had followed them through many seasons of hunting. Food bags were secured around their shoulders. No one spoke much. Each person understood that today's hunt began like many others, with steady breathing and quiet concentration. As they moved deeper into the savanna, one hunter stopped beside a patch of soft earth. Antelope tracks appeared clearly, slender, and neat, pressed into the damp soil. Nearby, grass blades were freshly cut low. They crouched to observe fresh droppings, confirming the animal had passed not long ago. The direction of the tracks led toward taller grass ahead. Judging by the distance between steps, they guessed it might be an individual separated from the herd. The decision to follow was made quickly and silently. The group slowed when the grass rose to waist height. They kept moving downwind to avoid detection. Antelope have sharp eyesight and quick reflexes, so every step had to be careful. The tracks became clearer, and the spacing between them showed the animal had slowed while feeding on young grass. One hunter signaled to stop. Ahead, between patches of short grass and scattered bushes, the antelope appeared. Its slender body and upright ears stood out under the morning light. They scanned the area and saw only one standing slightly apart from the open plain behind. The animal lifted its head often, listening for the slightest movement. The air grew tense. The hunters spread into two directions, keeping enough distance not to draw attention. One moved slowly from the left, while another held position opposite to block a possible escape path. When the space between them narrowed, action came swiftly. The antelope suddenly sprinted forward, shooting through the grass like an arrow. For a few tense seconds, the sound of pounding steps filled the air. Their coordination quickly brought the situation under control. The hunt ended when the animal stopped moving in the silent savanna. They waited a few breaths longer to ensure the area was safe. The antelope was secured with strong rope to make carrying easier. Its weight was manageable, though the journey back was long. Two hunters took turns carrying it across their shoulders, while another walked ahead watching the terrain and listening carefully. The sunlight grew stronger as the sun climbed higher. Slow but steady steps brought them back toward their shelter in the open savanna. Sweat began to form on their foreheads, yet their pace remained calm and consistent. When they returned to camp, the catch was placed near the familiar living area. While some gathered wood and prepared the cooking space, others sat under the shade of a low tree. They took out small dried beads and thin thread made from tendon or plant fibers. Skilled fingers carefully threaded each bead, forming simple necklaces and bracelets. The work moved slowly but steadily, a natural part of the afternoon routine. The soft clicking of beads mixed with quiet conversation, easing the tension after the long journey. The antelope was brought close to the fire. Knives moved along precise and familiar lines. They dressed the animal directly, separating the meat into portions suitable for roasting. No complicated preparation was needed. Pieces of meat were threaded onto wooden sticks, ready for the glowing coals. The organs were separated, with some parts kept aside for later meals. Every movement was efficient, shaped by long experience. The meat was placed over the red coals. Fat dripped onto the fire, producing steady crackling sounds while smoke carried the rich aroma through the air. As the surface turned dark brown, they rotated each piece carefully to prevent burning. Everyone gathered around the fire, waiting in relaxed silence. When the meat was ready, portions were shared equally. Children sat near the adults, watching how they tore apart the steaming pieces of meat. The warmth from the coals made the air feel comfortable as the evening breeze moved gently across the savanna. Sunset slowly settled over the wide savanna. Firelight reflected on faces that looked tired but satisfied. The wind moving through dry grass blended with the fading sound of the fire. Another hunting day ended with a simple but fulfilling meal. This rhythm of life would continue tomorrow when dawn opened once again across the endless plains.